The instructor's fist came without warning. One moment, Captain Chen stood at attention in the crystalline training hall of the Void Empress's personal guard compound, and the next, Instructor Vexthor's chitinous arm blurred through the air, aimed directly at his throat. Chen's hand moved on instinct. His fingers closed around the alien's wrist mid-strike, stopping the blow 3 inches from his windpipe. The hall went silent. 40 elite guards from a dozen species froze in their sparring positions. Vexthor's compound eyes widened, his mandibles clicking in what might have been shock. Chen held the wrist. Didn't squeeze, didn't twist, just held it with the same pressure he'd used to catch a falling glass. His heart hammered against his ribs, but his face remained neutral. Training. Muscle memory. Reflexes honed over 20 years in Earth's special forces before humanity even knew aliens existed. Impossible, Vexthor whispered in trade standard, his voice like gravel scraping glass. No recruit has ever... Release Instructor Vexthor immediately. The command came from across the hall. Commander Shakara, second in command of the Imperial Guard, stood with her 4 arms crossed over her chest. Her scales had shifted to combat red. That is a direct order, human. Stepped back. Brought his fist to his chest in the Imperial salute. My apologies, Commander. Reflex. Vexthor rubbed his wrist, staring at Chen like he'd sprouted a second head. Around them, whispers spread through the assembled recruits in a dozen languages. Chen caught fragments. Impossible reflexes.
No enhanced genetics.
Baseline human. Unknown threat level. Instructor Vexthor. Shakara's voice cut through the noise. Explain. The instructor's mandibles worked soundlessly for a moment. The strike drill, Commander. Standard surprise attack protocol to test awareness. In 700 cycles of instruction, no recruit has reacted before impact. Most require medical attention afterward. He gestured at Chen with one clawed hand. This human caught my wrist. My striking wrist, mid-attack. And your wrist? Shkara's eyes narrowed. Damage assessment? None, Commander. Vexthor's voice carried a strange note. He caught it, held it. Applied no force beyond necessary restraint. I felt no killing intent. No aggression, just prevention. Shkara moved closer to Chen, her height forcing him to look up. She studied him with eyes that had seen 1,000 battlefields. You are the human the Empress personally selected for guard training. Chen, former soldier. No genetic modifications, no cybernetic enhancements, standard human baseline. Yes, Commander. Your species has been part of the Imperium for less than 2 standard years. You have no natural armor, no enhanced strength, no psionic abilities. Your homeworld gravity is considered low-moderate. Your reaction time should be unremarkable. She leaned closer. Explain what just occurred. Chen kept his eyes forward. Training, Commander. Where I come from, we drill until reaction becomes unconscious. The instructor moved to strike. My body responded. Your body. Shakara's tone was flat. Responded fast enough to intercept a Crush warrior whose species evolved for ambush predation, whose strike speed exceeds most species' visual processing. Yes, Commander. A small sound echoed through the hall. Soft. Barely audible, but every guard snapped to attention immediately, fists to chests. Chen followed suit, mimicking their stance perfectly. The sound came again. Footsteps. Light. Deliberate. Moving with the kind of precision that spoke of absolute confidence. She entered through the eastern archway. The Void Empress was smaller than Chen expected. Perhaps 5 feet tall in human measurements, though her presence filled the cavernous hall like a physical force. Her skin held the deep purple-black of space itself, shot through with veins that pulsed with starlight. Her crown wasn't metal or jewels, but something that looked like crystallized darkness, floating an inch above her head. She wore simple training robes, not the ceremonial armor Chen had seen in Imperial broadcasts. Behind her walked a single attendant, a child. No more than 7 or 8 in human years, with the same purple-black skin but eyes that held galaxies. The crown prince, Chen had been briefed. The Empress's only child. Heir to an empire that spanned 12 sectors and encompassed 4,000 inhabited worlds. Remain as you are, the Empress said quietly. Her voice was soft but carried perfectly to every corner of the hall. Commander Shakara, report. Your Majesty, the human recruit caught Instructor Vexthor's surprise strike. No prior training in Kresh combat forms, no enhanced abilities, pure reflexive response. The Empress moved through the assembled guards like water flowing downhill. Each recruit she passed seemed to shrink slightly, though none moved. She stopped in front of Chen. Up close, her eyes were impossible to read. Dark pools that reflected nothing and everything simultaneously. Captain Chen. Not a question. Look at me. Protocol demanded eye contact when the Empress spoke directly. Her pupils dilated slightly, and he felt something brush against his thoughts. Not invasive, just present. Like standing in a room and feeling someone else's attention. You struck first, she said. No, Your Majesty. Instructor Vexthor struck. I only defended. You moved first, she corrected. Before conscious thought, before decision. Your body knew before your mind understood. She tilted her head. This is common among your species? Among soldiers, Your Majesty. We train until thinking becomes limiting. Until the body acts faster than thought. Fascinating. She turned to Vexthor. How much force did he apply? Precisely enough to prevent injury to myself or himself, Your Majesty. No more. The Empress studied Chen for another long moment. Then her son stepped forward, tugging on her robe. Mother, can all humans do this? Every guard in the hall tensed. Protocol strictly forbade addressing the Empress informally during official functions. Even her son was expected to maintain decorum in public spaces. But the child's eyes were fixed on Chen with open curiosity. The Empress didn't correct him. Instead, she placed a hand on his shoulder. An excellent question, Cal. Captain Chen, answer my son. Saw the genuine interest in those galaxy-filled eyes. Not all humans, Prince Thakal. But many. We're not strong like the Kresh. We're not fast like the Valkyr. We don't have armor or claws or psionic abilities. So we learn to be ready. Always. We learn to see threats before they become attacks. To move before the danger fully manifests. Because you're weak? The child's voice held no malice. Just curiosity. Because we're adaptable, Your Highness. Chen smiled slightly. Weakness taught us to be prepared. Commander Shakara's scales flickered from combat red to thoughtful blue. Instructor Vexthor's mandibles went still. Kale stepped closer to Chen, looking up at him. Show me. The child had just given an order to a recruit. Breach of protocol. Potentially serious. But the Empress didn't intervene. She simply watched. Chen glanced at her. Saw no prohibition in her expression. He knelt slowly, bringing himself to eye level with the prince. Show you what, Your Highness? How to move before thinking. Behind them, Chen heard Shakara's sharp intake of breath. Teaching methods to the air without authorization was grounds for immediate dismissal, possibly execution, but the Empress remained silent. Watching, Chen looked at the small prince and made a decision that would change everything. Hold out your hand, Your Highness.